I turned my annoying roommate into a steamy gay fanfiction protagonist. The twist? He started physically experiencing every word I wrote. Now I control his senses through my keyboard. And damn if I'm not having fun with this power. Watching Campus Ice Prince Jake blush crimson and squirm gives me the most delicious twisted satisfaction. A hand slipped beneath Jake's button-down, nails digging crescent moons into his hip bone. My fingers flew across the keyboard. The moment I hit period, Jake, currently giving a philosophy presentation, jerked like he'd been tasered. As this concludes, his knuckles whitened on the podium. My talk. Those always perfectly combed chestnut locks stuck to his damp forehead as he fled to his seat. I bit my lip to keep from laughing. While half the lecture hall scrolled Instagram, I'd been laser-focused on Jake's every twitch. This wasn't coincidence. My writing literally puppeteered his body. It started as petty revenge when I named my story's bullied love interest after the guy who's hated me since freshman orientation. Who knew Jake would actually feel every humiliating scene. But, Jake. I leaned across the aisle, smirking at how he flinched at my voice. You looked like someone just fingered you on stage. He shot me that familiar venomous glare. The one that made lesser men piss themselves. Our feud began day one when I complimented his stupidly pretty face. Dude acted like I'd spat in his kombucha. Now my coffee mug accidentally ends up in the trash daily. Whatever. This new game's way more entertaining. 2:47 a.m. Jake crawled into his roommate's bunk. Sleepwalking. I typed, then held my breath. Fabric rustled across our dorm. His mint-scented sheets whispered open. There he was, glassy-eyed and pliant. Knees scraping my mattress as he curled against me like some stray cat. Who's Mr. I and Mighty now? I whispered, wrapping arms around the human ice sculpture. His breath hitched. Warm puffs against my neck making my skin prickle. Bet you'll freak tomorrow. Let's be clear, I'm straight. This is purely about watching Jake unravel. Mostly. Sunlight stabbed my eyes. A Doc Martens slammed into my ribs. What the hell? Jake scrambled off my bed. Shirt inside out and cheeks nuclear red. I feigned shock, clutching non-existent pearls. Dude, why are you in my... Fuck you, Ryan. He hurled my pillow so hard it knocked over his $200 desk lamp. Worth it. Jake's face shifted from anger to confusion. You weren't sleepwalking, were you? Daytime thoughts become nighttime actions. If you crawled into my bed while sleepwalking, does that mean? He cut me off through gritted teeth. Go see a psychiatrist if you're delusional. As he tried to get off the bed, I dramatically wailed. Help. I've been violated. I'm tainted forever. Wah. Someone save me. Jake immediately lunged to cover my mouth, his cheeks flushing crimson. What nonsense are you spouting? He clearly hadn't realized how compromising our position looked. Sorry? He bit out. My apologies. It wasn't intentional. Happy now? Sure. Don't let it happen again. I lounged against the headboard, flashing him my most irritating grin. Jake shot me a half-hearted glare before scrambling off the mattress. Watching his retreating back, I detected distinct notes of panic in his escape. That night, hidden behind my bed curtains, I clattered away on my keyboard. My readers expected their weekly update. Before typing 3 sentences, I heard Jake groan from the opposite bunk. Peeking through the curtains, I saw him stagger to his feet. His normally porcelain complexion burned fever bright, dark hair clinging damply to his forehead. Anyone glancing at my screen would have noticed Jake's current state mirrored my protagonist's predicament perfectly. When Jake stumbled toward the bathroom breathing raggedly, I smirked and resumed typing. A loud thud from the bathroom froze my fingers. Jake, you okay in there? I called, knocking. After prolonged silence came his muffled reply. Fine. Open up. I need to pee. Busy. Last chance before I break this door down. I jiggled the handle threateningly. The door flew open less than a minute later. Dripping wet with hair plastered to his neck. Jake looked ghost pale. Something twisted in my chest seeing him like this. How'd you? My voice faltered, guilt prickling my conscience. He walked past me like I was invisible. Asshole. Any shred of sympathy evaporated instantly. Serves him right for taking cold showers. Hope he freezes solid. Jake developed a fever overnight. The idiot had showered cold and slept with wet hair. When he wouldn't wake the next morning, I skipped class to get him fever reducers from the campus clinic. Jake. Meds. He sat up groggily. pressing the pill to his lips. I watched his tongue dart out kitten-soft to retrieve it. He swallowed it dry before I could hand him water. Go to the hospital if this doesn't break by evening. Got it? Ryan. You're noisy. Excuse me? I ditched class to play nurse and get complaints about volume? Almost walked out right then. Ryan, you've been cursing me, haven't you? What? Every time you type on that phone, afterward I feel wrong. This is some hex. His burning forehead creased. Just stop. The fever had clearly fried his brains. Phew. That was close. The next morning, Jake's panicked voice jolted me awake. I'd never heard the Ice Prince use such an urgent tone before. Ryan. I think I've gone blind. What? His vacant stare finally reminded me I'd originally written the protagonist to experience temporary blindness during the story's climax. Though it only lasted 1 to 2 weeks in my plot outline, guilt still twisted my gut. Don't panic. Let's get you to the hospital. The doctors found nothing physically wrong with Jake's eyes. Exactly as I'd scripted. This appears psychosomatic, the physician concluded. Though Jake's expression remained neutral, the tension in his jaw betrayed his frustration. See, the doctor said your eyes are fine. This'll pass soon, I reassured, earning a quiet thanks. Ryan as we returned to campus. Taking charge of Jake's care became second nature. Handling class absences and meal deliveries was manageable. But our shoebox-sized dorm bathroom presented challenges. Shampoo bottles crowded every surface, turning simple showers into obstacle courses. Jake, do you want help showering? Silence stretched between us. Or I could ask someone else. No. He cut in abruptly. You'll do. Assisting your frosty roommate with personal hygiene? Awkward doesn't begin to cover it. The showerhead suddenly became the most fascinating object in the room, until I remembered Jake couldn't see my wandering gaze. His sculpted physique and vulnerable expression didn't help matters. The combination stirred dangerous thoughts. By the time we finished, we both resembled steamed lobsters. Must have been the water temperature. Surprisingly, our routine developed comfortable rhythms over the following days. I even caught myself enjoying this strange domesticity. While Jake napped, I checked my novel's surging popularity. Readers flooded the comments. Jake's such a mesmerizing character. More scenes, please. Absolute fire emoji content. I'm aware of the Ice Prince getting flustered. Someone pinned that man against a wall already. Heat crawled up my neck as I imagined Jake's blush-drenched face during our shared showers. Slamming the laptop shut, I willed these forbidden fantasies away. This couldn't be happening. Since when did I develop feelings for my roommate? The next afternoon, I returned from class with Jake's usual takeout. You shouldn't be wandering around blind, I scolded, finding him silhouetted against the dorm window. Come on, let's eat before. He turned, eyes gleaming with startling clarity. My breath caught. Had the blindness lifted, or had it ever truly existed? Jake slowly turned around to look at me. His eyes had regained their usual clarity, now focused on my computer screen where my unfinished document remained open. During his period of blindness, I'd never bothered to hide anything from him, especially my writing. But I never anticipated his sudden recovery of vision, nor him catching that particular document at the worst possible moment. My scalp started tingling with dread. So it's you. Jake stared at me with disbelief, his voice trembling. How is this even possible? Ryan, why would you do this? Any explanation would sound hollow now. Sighing, I stepped closer to meet his furious gaze. My height advantage and neutral expression must have appeared intimidating. Jake frowned and retreated slightly. Either uncomfortable or frightened, the movement stabbed at my chest. Just yesterday, he'd been sitting beside me during meals. Our conversations effortless. Now he flinched from my presence. I cornered him against the wall before he could escape. Though I knew I should apologize. Venomous words spilled out instead, because it's entertaining. You despise me. Yet you'd follow every word I write. Wouldn't you do the same if our roles were reversed? The slap snapped my head sideways. When I looked back, Jake's eyes glistened with unshed tears yet burned with rage, an expression I'd never seen from him. My heart plummeted like a stone. You're such an asshole. He stormed out of the dorm. Though instinct urged me to chase after him, I stayed. He wouldn't want my company now. The bitter truth settled in. I'd become that repulsive guy who lashed out like a rabid dog when ignored. By curfew, Jake still hadn't returned. My texts went unanswered. Tangled emotions kept me awake until midnight. God damn it. I dropped to my knees beside Jake's bed, forehead thumping against the mattress. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. His sheets carried that familiar citrus and sage scent. Exhaustion eventually claimed me in that humiliating position. Morning brought stiff knees and phantom pains, like some disgraced concubine from historical dramas. My panic resurged when noticing Jake had left without his charger. What if his phone died? What if he couldn't pay for meals? Rationalizing my intrusion, I yanked open his desk drawer. Holy shit. My reflection would have shown pure shock. Inside lay items I thought he'd discarded years ago, the pen he'd lent me during finals week, returned but never seen again. I'd assumed he'd thrown it away in disgust. There was also a towel I had mistakenly used, a cup I accidentally broke, the roster, all the things I touched, thinking they had vanished, ended up in Jake's drawer. A sudden, absurd yet utterly certain answer rose in my heart. Jake didn't hate me. He liked me? But if he liked me, why did he act so cold? Even disgusted toward me? My mind swirled with questions, itching to grab Jake and demand answers immediately. Overwhelmed by intense emotions, I completely overlooked the fact that I was being liked by someone of the same gender. This was Jake we're talking about. If it were Jake, well, that actually might be okay. Just as I expected, Jake didn't skip class and arrived as usual. I sat right beside him the moment he entered the classroom, but he didn't even flinch or glance my way. What an actor. Before, seeing him would only spark helpless frustration over his inexplicable coldness. Now, looking at him filled me with boundless joy. How much longer are you planning to stare? Jake suddenly snapped. I blinked. I think you're beautiful. He lowered his voice. You think saying that will make me forgive you? I swear. Ryan will never do such things again in this lifetime. Let's talk properly after class. Okay. Jake stayed silent, clearly refusing to engage, though his breathing grew strangely ragged. What's wrong, Ryan? Jake hissed through clenched teeth. What did you do to me this time? I raised my hands innocently. I didn't do anything. It's you again, whatever you wrote? Stop it now. Jake collapsed onto the desk trembling, the tip of his ear burning crimson. Then it hit me, I'd pulled an all-nighter recently to finish my novel draft, having churned out massive content at once. Jake couldn't process all the shared sensations from my writing, leading to this. Ryan, what the hell do you want from me? It wasn't intentional. Just hang in there a little longer. I stammered. Once the storyline runs its course, it'll pass. I draped my oversized jacket over his shoulders. I never knew my character's sensations would sync with you, though I'll admit I mischievously used your name at first. I'm truly sorry. You can get back at me however? Ryan. Shut up. Jake glared sideways. The teacher's looking this way. When class finally ended, Jake bolted up like he couldn't stand sharing oxygen with me. I gripped his wrist under the desk. The classroom emptied until only we remained. Ryan. What now? I met his eyes nervously. Jake, have you always kind of liked me? His anger dissolved into confusion. Face paling. What nonsense are you spouting? It's not nonsense. I saw what's in your drawer, accidentally. Okay. You went through my things? Jake seethed. Any more outrageous stunts left? Ryan? Wait. I just wanted to bring you a charger in case your phone died. Jake laughed bitterly. Should I thank you then? Listen, I said earnestly, I'm not asking for instant forgiveness. Just give me a chance to pursue you. Okay. He stayed silent for eternity before finally shaking his head. No need. I panicked. What? After everything that's happened, I know you never had any feelings for me. You suddenly claiming to like me now? I can't trust that. But maybe this is just another way to mess with me? Jake said bitterly. Truth is, I stopped caring about you a long time ago. Let's say I only liked your face initially. Now, I'm over it. Every word felt like a lie. He had to still be angry with me. He had to be. I deleted the story from the platform, wanting to tell Jake, only to find myself blocked. He skipped classes for days, becoming a ghost on campus. Jake had always been good at disappearing. When he didn't want to be found, the whole world couldn't track him down. The call came when I'd nearly given up. Dude, found your guy. Where? My friend reported spotting Jake at his family's restaurant. I grabbed a taxi immediately. Good news, there he was, The person I'd been obsessing over. Bad news, a stranger sat across from him. Worse news, the stranger looked like a goddamn model. Was Jake really the type to move on this fast? I lurked like a sewer rat, watching Jake smile at that man more times than he'd ever smiled at me in a year. That stung. Before I knew it, I was striding toward their table. Jake. He looked up, brow furrowing. How did you? Forgotten about our spontaneous connection? I slung an arm around his shoulders, whispering by his ear before smiling at the stranger. Sorry? My boyfriend's mad at me. Gotta smooth things over. Jake stared like I'd grown horns. Ryan. You've lost it. Turns out the stranger was Jake's older brother. I just outed Jake to his own family. Fuck. Every move I made pushed Jake further away. At this point, I qualified for all 7 deadly sins. Any lingering affection he might have had was surely ashes now. The sole mercy? Housing shortages kept us as roommates. Jake pretended I didn't exist. I shamelessly played my last card, his alleged attraction to my looks. I changed shirts deliberately in our shared space. Slow and unsubtle. Jake kept his eyes glued to textbooks, but flushed earlobes betrayed him. Jake. Forgot my boxers. Grab a pair from the drawer? No response. I leaned against the bathroom doorway, grinning. Help me out or I'm coming out commando. A chair screeched against floor tiles. Jake's pale hand reached into the bathroom, clutching my underwear. The sight alone was enough to make my blood race. Ahem. Thanks. Though effective, this trick couldn't be overused. One time I called Jake's name for 10 straight minutes with no response. I emerged naked only to find he'd left, returning half an hour later. Jake. You don't have to avoid me like this. I grabbed his wrist desperately, voice trembling. I'll stop doing it? Okay. He shook me off. The RA found me an empty dorm. I'm moving out tomorrow. My world shattered. Oh, Ryan. Who are you to forbid me? His frosty tone cut deeper than winter wind. But, the psychic link between us. You dare mention that? He yanked open his closet, pulling out a suitcase. I'm saying it's dangerous for both of us. When he kept ignoring me, something snapped. I hauled him up and crushed my lips against his plush. Springy? Like strawberry jello. My first kiss amounted to clumsy pressing and tentative licks before he shoved me away violently. Jake scrubbed his mouth raw. You've crossed every line imaginable. I'm sorry. Please don't go. I crouched beside his half-packed luggage, tears splattering the leather. I really like you. How can I chase you if you disappear? He sighed at my sniveling form. You assault someone then cry like the victim? People would think I bullied you. You did. Sobs racked my body with surprising authenticity. I'll apologize every day. Be your personal servant. Just stay. We can't even coexist as roommates. His knuckles whitened on folded sweaters. What makes you think we'd work as lovers? I'll adapt to everything. After hours of pleading, he finally relented. Turns out keeping Jake close proved wise. The psychic resonance struck again at midnight. His stifled whimpers and rustling sheets had me throwing off blankets. I climbed into his bunk despite his protests. Don't move. I pinned his trembling form. Hurting? Whose fault is that? His glare could have frozen hell. Let me make it better. My hand slid under the covers, ignoring his choked protests. When warm wetness pooled in my palm minutes later, Jake's tear-streaked face made my chest ache with conflicting urges. Get out. Ryan. I regret this. I'm moving out. I absolutely despise you. You want to move out so others can do this to you instead? I pleaded with Jake, my voice trembling. You can't do this. It'll destroy me. Go ahead and hate me. I'll endure whatever hatred you throw my way. Please? Jake remained silent, his breathing gradually steadying. The shared sensation faded as he fell asleep. Afterward, I immersed myself in relationship advice forums, studying every strategy to win him back. I brought Jake meals, saved him seats, did his laundry, occasionally helped him with physical needs arising from our connection. Having never pursued anyone before, I simply treated Jake like my partner. Yet his persistently lukewarm responses frustrated me, though understandably so, given our complicated history. Just as I hit a rough patch in winning him back, Jake's older brother contacted me. He requested a meeting. Frankly, I'd expected the stereotypical here's a check to stay away from my brother scenario. Instead, Mr. Miller greeted me with unexpected warmth. Awkward from our last encounter. I fumbled, so, Mr. Miller, what did you want to discuss? You're Ryan, correct? His calm gaze held mine. We've met before. Excuse me? You were Jake's high school classmate. What? Over the next hour? Mr. Miller shared stories about Jake's teenage years and personal preferences. Surprisingly, he supported my pursuit rather than opposing it. Jake struggles with emotional expression. When he feels 10 units of affection, he'll only show one. I smiled bitterly, this I knew too well. Practically raised him myself with our parents, occupied. He's always craved security. Mr. Miller's voice softened. Ryan, if this isn't genuine, please don't play with his heart. Half-hearted attention would devastate him. I'd never. My conviction burned. I truly, deeply care about Jake. This isn't temporary. Mr. Miller nodded. His birthday's in 7 days. He left the suggestion hanging. Perhaps your efforts could shine then. Best of luck. Got it? I immediately planned to skip classes and transform our dorm. Aren't you attending lectures today? Jake asked that morning. Got something to handle. I feigned nonchalance. Might stay out tonight. Understood. Though Jake masked it well, I caught the fleeting disappointment. My resolve crumbled. Just kidding. I'll definitely be back tonight. Go to class. All right. The delayed birthday cake had me sprinting back last minute. Darkness enveloped the redecorated room as I nervously watched the clock. Tick, tock, tick. 30 minutes past Jake's usual return time. My confidence dissolved into panic. I lunged for the door and collided with him. Confetti popper still in hand, I dumbly raised it above his head. Pop. Happy birthday, Jake. We both froze. Golden specks shimmering between us. Confetti rained down on us as we burst into laughter. To be precise, it wasn't the most flawless birthday celebration. The element of surprise had evaporated, yet it remained utterly joyous. I could feel Jake's genuine ease radiating through his smile as I handed him an oversized slice of cake. How do you know it's my birthday? He asked. Take a guess. I teased, maintaining the mystery. Ryan told you, didn't he? You knew that? Besides Ryan, no one else remembers. My chest tightened hearing this. I pulled him into an embrace. Now you've got me too, right? From this year on, I'll celebrate every birthday with you. You'll let me. My voice wavered. Jake. Silence. Disappointment flickered briefly before I shook it off. There'd be other chances. Let's try this, he murmured suddenly. What? I gaped at him. Say that again. You heard me? Jake muttered. Pink blooming across his cheeks. Long lashes fluttering. Ecstatic, I peppered kisses across his forehead. The moment our feelings aligned, some invisible tension between us dissolved. Even his tentative let's try felt like victory. I immediately updated my social media. Bombarded by friends' shocked comments. Isn't that your roommate who supposedly hated you? Cut the crap, he's my man now. I typed before deleting it. Hated me? Please. Jake had been smitten for ages. That night, I shamelessly invaded Jake's bed. Octopus, latching onto him. His flushed face looked irresistibly biteable. Quit squeezing so hard. He protested weakly as I nuzzled his neck. You smell amazing. Like, stupidly good. What's your secret? Stop, there's no scent, I'm crazy about you. Jake. The confession tumbled out. Years of unacknowledged longing crystallizing into 3 words. Guess I didn't realize what this feeling was, until now. Drifting asleep to his herbal shampoo fragrance, I felt warm breath at my ear. Me too. I've liked you, much longer than you think. Epilogue. Jake, I thought I'd never see Ryan again in this lifetime. But fate works in strange ways. Somehow reconnecting 2 people who drifted apart. By some twist of chance, we became college roommates. Except he didn't remember me. When I was 18, I failed my college entrance exams and chose to repeat senior year. My family's disappointment and my own self-imposed pressure often left me suffocating. I was in the elite Class A while Ryan was in Class B, a campus celebrity not just for his striking looks but his rebellious charm. Exactly the type teenage girls obsessed over. We were polar opposites. His radiant presence almost blinding. I envied people like him. Though maybe envied wasn't the right word. Perhaps I wanted to become that kind of person myself. My insecurities always spiraled out of control. The vocational school down the street from ours was notorious for its troublemakers. Walking home late from night study sessions often meant getting cornered by them demanding protection money. This happened so frequently even teachers turned a blind eye. With major exams approaching, most of us chose to pay up rather than risk trouble. But not Ryan. That hothead actually grabbed a metal pipe and challenged the whole gang to a brawl. Afterward, our street became eerily quiet, peaceful. Even his face stayed bruised for over a month. I kept thinking, who does that? Resisting his magnetism felt impossible. Not that it mattered, he clearly couldn't stand me anyway. Ryan was painfully straight. If he ever discovered my feelings, he'd probably be disgusted. I vacillated between wanting to get closer and knowing I should stay away, ending up acting so awkwardly that everyone thought I was some temperamental weirdo. Fine. If that's the role they gave me, I'd own it. We were never meant to be together anyway. Ryan was an absolute bastard. When I found my name plastered across his computer files, I finally understood why my body had been acting so strangely lately. He'd written reams of unsettling content that left me feeling contaminated. This had to be his way of tormenting me, proof of how much he despised me. I never intended for Ryan to discover my feelings. Sometimes I pitted myself. Even after everything he'd done, a few sweet words from him melted my resentment. But when he claimed to like me, that's where I drew the line. No way I'd fall for that. Yet Ryan seemed dead serious about pursuing me. I could physically feel my defenses crumbling, my heartbeat sinking to his footsteps. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd actually end up together. This entire reality felt fragile, like soap bubbles glinting in sunlight. This is a dream. Let me never wake up.